Every morning you wake up and make a choice. Coffee or tea? Stay in bed or get up? Feels like your decision, right? But what if it was never yours to begin with? Right now, your brain is making decisions before you even know about them. Half a second before you choose, the choice is already made. So who's really in charge? This is the question that has haunted philosophers, scientists, and religious leaders for thousands of years. Do you actually have free will? Or are you just a very convincing robot? By the end of this video, you will never think about your decisions the same way again. Let's go. The average human makes 35,000 decisions every day. What to wear? What to eat? Who to text back? Now here's the scary question. How many of those were actually yours? Free will means you could have chosen differently. Same moment, same brain, same situation. But a different choice was possible. Simple idea. Terrifying implications. There are three big camps on this. Free will is real and total. Free will is an illusion. Everything is predetermined. Or both can be true at the same time. Let's break all three down. Libertarian free will says, you are the author of your choices, not your genes, not your past, not your brain chemistry. You decide. Fully, completely. Sounds great. But science has some bad news. Hard determinism says, every single event in the universe, including your thoughts, was set in motion at the Big Bang. You never had a choice. Not once, ever. Compatibilism says determinism and free will can coexist. You are free not because you escape causality, but because nothing external is forcing you. This is where most modern philosophers land. In 1983, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet ran one of the most disturbing experiments in history. He asked people to flick their wrist whenever they felt like it. He measured two things: when their brain activated and when they felt the urge to move. The result changed everything. The brain activated half a second before the person felt the urge. Half a second. Your brain made the call, then told you about it. So your feeling of deciding might just be your brain sending you a notification about something it already did. You are not the boss. You are the intern. 86 billion neurons firing in your head. Electrical signals traveling at 120 meters per second. Chemical reactions happening in milliseconds. And somewhere in all that chaos, you think there is a you making choices. Imagine a line of dominoes stretching back 13.8 billion years to the Big Bang. Every domino falls because the one before it fell. You are just the latest domino. In 1814, French mathematician Laplace imagined a demon, a being that knows the position of every atom in the universe. With that knowledge, it could predict every future event, including every choice you will ever make. That demon doesn't need to exist for determinism to be true. The laws of physics don't care about your feelings. Cause and effect doesn't take days off. Think about the last big decision you made. A job, a relationship, a move. Now trace it back. Your childhood, your parents, their parents. Was any of it really your choice? Here is the hardest version of determinism. You couldn't have done otherwise, not even once in your entire life. Every moment was the only moment that could have happened. But wait, quantum physics to the rescue, right? At the subatomic level, particles behave randomly, completely unpredictable. So maybe freedom lives down there. Here is the problem with that idea. Random is not the same as free. If a random quantum event makes your hand move, that is not your choice. That is just chaos wearing your face. True freedom would require something that is neither determined nor random. something that is genuinely yours. Philosophers have been searching for that thing for over 2,000 years. Quantum mechanics broke Newtonian physics. It proved the universe is not a perfect clockwork machine. But it didn't give us free will. It just swapped one prison for another, determinism for randomness. So here we are, determined, maybe, random, possibly, free, unclear. Let's go deeper. Aristotle believed your choices flow from your character, and your character you built yourself. So in a sense, you are responsible for the person who makes the choices, even if the choices feel automatic. Kant said something radical. As rational beings, we exist outside the physical causal chain. We give ourselves the moral law. Freedom is not something we have. It is something we are. Nietzsche disagreed with almost everyone. Free will is a fiction invented by the weak to hold the strong accountable. Real power is not about freedom from causality. It is about creating yourself. Sartre said, "We are condemned to be free. You cannot escape choice. Even refusing to choose is a choice. Even saying, 'I had no choice,' is a choice you are making right now." Spinoza was the coldest of all. He said, "Free will is pure illusion. We feel free only because we don't know the causes that drive us. Ignorance, mistaken for freedom." Now let's talk about what this means for crime and punishment. If a person had no real choice, if their brain, their genes, their childhood made them do it, should we still punish them? Most people feel, yes, obviously. But think carefully. If determinism is true, punishing someone for their actions is like punishing a rock for falling. Here is where it gets interesting. Even without free will, punishment can still make sense. Not as revenge, but as protection, and as a tool to reshape future behavior. Studies show that people raised in violent homes are significantly more likely to become violent. People in poverty make different decisions than people with options. Environment shapes choice more than we admit. This doesn't mean no one is responsible. It means responsibility is more complex than we thought. And our justice system might need to reflect that. Here is something that should scare you. Research shows that when people stop believing in free will, they become less moral. They cheat more. They help less. They feel like nothing matters. And when people believe in free will, even if it might be an illusion, they take more responsibility. They try harder. They treat others better. The belief itself changes behavior. So even if free will is not real, believing in it might be the most useful thing you can do. The illusion that works might be more valuable than the truth that paralyzes. Your brain is not fixed. Every new experience rewires it. Every habit you build carves new neural pathways. Every book you read changes your future decisions. That is a kind of freedom. You didn't choose your starting point, your genes, your family, your country, your brain. But you are not just your starting point. You are also everything you have done since then. And that part is more yours. Think of freedom not as a yes or no question. Think of it as a spectrum. A rock has zero freedom. An animal has some. A human has more, but not infinite. We live somewhere on that line. The more self-aware you become, the more freedom you gain, because awareness creates a gap between stimulus and response. And in that gap, you have power. Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps. Everything was taken from him. His family, his freedom, his future. But he said one thing could never be taken: the freedom to choose how to respond. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Even in the worst conditions imaginable, a human being found freedom in the space between event and reaction. So maybe free will is not about escaping causality. Maybe it is about becoming more conscious of the causes that drive you, seeing them, understanding them, and choosing which ones to feed. Your past shaped you. It did not finish you. Your genes influence you. They do not define you. Your brain leads. You can learn to follow consciously instead of being dragged along unconsciously. That difference matters enormously. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you question a habit, every time you choose discomfort over comfort for a reason, you are exercising the only kind of free will that might actually exist. The question was, do you really have free will? My answer is this: maybe not completely, but more than you think, and far more than you are currently using. Now, go use it. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. Do you believe in free will? I read every single one.